So now that the suspension is done, I'm going to go ahead and add some parts that are aftermarket. These are optional from Team Losi Racing, front and rear sway bars. Most of the professional Team Losi drivers run the rear, especially on indoor clay tracks. Some of them run the front, and since I am going to be not only running indoor clay at this time of year, but I'm going to be running indoor carpet, I want the truck to be as stable as possible, have as much left and right stability as possible. So I'm going to put on the front and rear sway bars at this time. Okay, I'm about to install the rear sway bar, and I wanted to just mention a couple things. You may have noticed from the last video that when I'm installing the set screws into these ball studs, I am using a little bit of Loctite. Anything that's metal on metal, I generally use blue Loctite on. And unlike the front, the rear kit comes with several different sets of pieces. Some you won't be using because it depends on whether you are installing the motor in the mid or in the rear position. Since the kits are capable of both, TLR provides the various components you'll need for both. Since I am setting this up for right now as a rear motor, even though I'm going to be running on clay and carpet, I was tempted to try mid motor, and I may switch this around at some point, if nothing else, just for video and demonstration purposes. But these parts will not be needed for the rear setup. So I am going to put those in the bag with the sway bars I am not using. Another thing to note is that both of these kits come with 3 different thicknesses of sway bar: pink, yellow, and white, yellow being the mid-size. Following one of the setup sheets, I am going to try pink up front, yellow in rear, and I am going to be following all the mounting point location, spacer size, suspension tuning, etc. for that setup sheet. Sometimes those are a great way to do a baseline. Find a setup sheet that closely mimics the track conditions that you're going to be racing on. Build to that setup sheet. Many of these setup sheets that Losi has on their website are from specific races at specific tracks where the car won some type of championship or at least finished very well. So that gives you a very good baseline. Driving style, all kinds of things aside, you may vary from that, but it's certainly a better place to start than a stock setup. When I separated the parts, I forgot to mention that the longer connecting rod here, these are for the mid-engine.